There's there's an interesting phenomenon I think happening right now where like you see a lot of people that are not necessarily poor actually making really good money. Let's say you're in like the 90 to like 120,000 range. Like the amount of money when I was growing up, you're fucking rich. Like that's what I thought. And but I think what they're experiencing right now is because of crippling college debt, they don't really feel an exit strategy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're stuck in this like extended adolescence, right? Where they have their flat screens, they're going to parties with their friends, they're enjoying things, but they don't really feel like they'll be able to buy a house or buy an apartment or maybe even start a family. There's this like real delayed adulthood. And I think that's where you're feeling a lot of frustration. I think that's like where the Mamdanis start to come in and they have a lot of success, where like the Democratic Socialists are really pushing it. It's not for the very poor people. When you saw poor people in New York, they voted for Cuomo pretty much, right? It's the kind of like middle class that doesn't feel like they have escape velocity or escape opportunity. And now they're like, well, I deserve. It's almost like this, like a little bit of an entitlement that poor people don't have. They're like, I deserve to have a house and a family and to be super rich, but my loans won't let me do that.
I totally agree. So if you look at the three areas of American life where costs have gone up way faster than inflation, it's education, healthcare, and housing. And those are the three things that those people who, I think you put it exactly right, they feel like, wait a minute, wasn't I promised this?
Yes.
Wasn't I told work hard, take all the tests, go to a good college, and the irony
I got a
here
good
is,
job.
Right,
I'm making good money.
And the irony here is all three of those areas, you have massive market distortions caused by weird government involvement, weird oligopolies around hospitals, So it's like the market actually doesn't work. If you were to
You're not letting the market work.
Right. If you were to, I mean, look at Texas. Not my favorite state for a lot of things, but for housing, they do phenomenally. They barely have a homelessness problem because of that, because they don't have all this restrictive, zoning and regulation. Maybe we could learn something from that.
Well, this is what I'm optimistic with AI for, is that it could be the case that AI disrupts, employment and there's massive unemployment. Yeah. But it could also be the case that it massively increases worker productivity and drives prices down. Ooh. Right? Like, is that not also the case? Like,
totally.
We talk about education, like the cost of education, obviously it's inflated for a myriad of reasons. But if they're able to democratize education where it's largely free due to AI models they're able to teach kids, then is it possible that the cost of those things could go down and then you don't have these massive loan inflation?
New kinds of jobs.
Sure. Right? Like, is it possible that could also be the case?
That's what the techno-optimists say. And I think you got to say, for most of history, they've been right. I just worry the speed and scale of this. I mean, this is so big. And secondly, if you look at history, there were periods of like 60 years where per capita GDP didn't go up. Like eventually things worked out, but that's like a long period.
Yeah, long term maybe. I think short term, if a CEO is saying, I could make increased profits however many X multiplier by laying off this percent of my workforce.
But what if they can make the same profits as think like a wealth manager? It's like, I don't take clients under $100,000 because it's not worth the time. Right. But now you can take on thousands of clients under $100,000 because you have this AI model that does the same amount of time. And now you're able to increase your margins that much.
That's very smart. I think that, that's why I say we don't know what's going to happen.
But it's important to hear that side as well, because it's easy for us to get caught up in like the fear, like doom spiral, right? But this idea that
you
AI
can see the jobs you're losing, you can't see the jobs of the future that are being created, and it's going to be a battle between those two. And we will insist.
No, I was just saying, I think corporations are going to benefit the most because they have the money to invest in AI right now, and a lot of other places don't. And like education is one of the places that I don't see them really investing in AI that much. Like in terms of
why would an institution invest in an AI education software if it's going to stop students from spending $100,000 a year for going to do like keg stands for 4 years? I mean, that's what we did in college. Like, I don't think any of us really learned that much in college. It was a fun experience.
I would say the same.
I didn't drink or learn.
For yourself.
You had to.
I was a scholarship kid from India. I had to maintain.
We didn't all have Indian parents.
I had to maintain a GPA.
But I would say that's the same reason why all these online programs have exploded. Right? Like in terms of like Harvard undergrad is like a few thousand, then their like online program is like tens of thousands.
Wow.
So like these online programs are able to then spread it out. They're able to gain smaller margins or basically like less cost, but for way more people. And so in that vein, I'm like, why would they not do the same thing for AI? Be like, everyone can get an AI degree from our school and lower the cost.
But then are we going to be like Cuba, where everyone has a degree but there's no jobs?
Well, this is what's kind of happening now, right? We are already like Cuba without realizing it. We're like Cuba, now we're just stacked with debt. So Cuba just doesn't have the opportunity, but they have the education. Now you have this circumstance where going to an Ivy League institution, like you went to two fine institutions, I would imagine, you tell me if I'm wrong here, but the greatest benefit was being around other people and increasing your network. You don't get that going to Ole Miss. You don't get that going to UC Santa Barbara, like me. I met great friends that I'm friends to this day, and it's amazing.
And a beautiful place.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it was
I've
awesome.
spoken there. Oh my God,
It's amazing.
I thought to myself, I gotta find a way to get a gig here
to enjoy that. You shouldn't be educated there. But when you go to Harvard, you go to Yale, and you're sitting down with future presidents or future senators and future hedge fund managers and all these other people. Your book, right? Like the people that you can call to and access information or call to for help for your future projects. It's like invaluable.
100% right. And it actually points to maybe an area where AI can't disintermediate, which is the physical networking that takes place among human beings that is still requires, conferences and meetings and things like that. Because ultimately human beings are social, and you can't get it, you can't somehow do everything automatically without meeting, without trusting. Like something like trust, I think, becomes even more important in a world of deep fakes and AI. So it's going to be very interesting to think about when you have a technological push that moves you in this direction, where they can do kind of everything analytic that you can do better. Yeah. Maybe we start to emphasize those qualities of human beings, which are not about analytics, which are about, our emotions, our ability to trust, our ability, EQ, character, exactly. And maybe that's not such a bad thing.
It's a great thing.
Right? Like that actually, that's what is fundamentally human about us, our ability to be brave and wise and loving and emotionally support other people. Yeah. Maybe that's where we're headed.
Yeah. You're saying we'll just become France.
I don't think of the French as emotionally very supportive. Well, take a doctor, right? Like a doctor, there used to be the whole idea the doctor was this brainiac who could diagnose what was going on. Like, he'd ask you a few questions. Well, I mean, the AI can diagnose way better than the smartest doctor in the world, because the AI knows like 40 million cases, Well, how many doctors can remember 40 million? But maybe what the doctor's skills then become is talking to the patient, relating, helping you understand your condition, helping you make the kind of lifestyle changes that you need to make in order to be successful on this path of recovery. That's a skill they don't teach in medical school.
Right.
Like it's all brainiac.
That's nursing school.
Exactly. No, that's right.
Yeah.
But maybe we need to reverse the order and say, you know what, bedside manner, emotional support, being a life coach is a core part of being a doctor. Not just being this guy who I'm like a genius and I know how to do this.
I mean, that'd be great. I hope that happens.